road to Spurn, okay.
Spurn Point, a long peninsula which juts out above the mouth of the Humber estuary on the southeast coast of Yorkshire, had always fascinated me as a child. As I looked at the map of Britain in old Gibby's geography lessons, it seemed as though whoever designed Britain's coastline had got bored and decided to draw a willy on it. Like a willy, Spurn Point tends to change shape. Over the years, the sea has deposited, then washed away, great banks of sand. Whole villages have been washed away too, leaving strange little roads and railway lines that vanish into the sea, and the crumbling remains of sea defences.
I've seen that in the Tate Gallery. I think it was called Vortex.
These sea defences, built by the Victorians and added to in the 1940s, have done more harm than good, interfering with Spurn's natural process of decay and regeneration.
I think this will be the time to make some speech about human vanity and man's and indeed woman's struggle against the eternal sea.
Spurn Point is just 25 miles from Hull, my next destination. Traditionally, Hull's fortunes have been dependent on the sea and the river. The city was shaped by the 18th and 19th century merchants who grew rich on importing, exporting and fishing. In more recent times, Hull has also been exporting some fine music. One of my favourite bands from the early 1980s was Hull's Red Guitars, purveyors of post-punk angst.
We've got photographs of men on the moon. We've got water that is good for us.
Their first single, Good Technology, which they released themselves, sold an astonishing 20,000 copies. Lou Howard, who played bass with the Red Guitars, moved to Hull as a student 20 years ago and has never looked back.
It's really unique. It's a small enough town for people to be friendly and supportive. I think the music reflects its uniqueness, really. People just do what they want to do.
Lou combines playing bass in her new band, Gagarin, with being a mother of three and organising events for the council.
1999 is a big year for Hull. We're celebrating the 700th anniversary of becoming a city, of signing the Royal Charter with a festival, Hull 700.
And you're involved in that?
I'm the celebrations manager.
What a fantastic...
Yeah.
Are you the only celebrations manager in Europe,
I think so, yes. I'm not a celebrations manager, I'm the celebrations manager.
Well, that's rather wonderful to be able to tell people.
So,
well, I feel quite celebratory at the moment. If only there had some bread and cheese and a bottle of wine,
lovely,
I could stay here all day, really.
It's interesting the way Hull's developed. It's, if you can imagine it, there's a Humber. There's the city at the top of the Humber, sort of the half a shape of a normal city. And then right through the centre of it is the River Hull. And that splits up West Hull and East Hull. And the city has always been split because the fishing ports were on the west side, so the fishing community grew up in the west side. And then on the east side, a commercial community grew up. So you've got two completely different communities. That's why we've got two rugby league teams.
Oh, right.
One on each side. In the war, you may know that Hull was really badly bombed. It was bombed all the time, not just like Coventry, which bombed over 2 nights. The planes had just dropped the bombs because it was A, it was easy to recognise, B, it was big
close
docks.
by,
Yeah, that's right. Docks and ports made it important sites. I think outside London it was the most bombed city. 90% of the city centre buildings are affected by bomb damage.
The Luftwaffe may have battered Hull, but 30 years later came another conflict that also tore communities apart, the Cod Wars. Political decision-makers deemed Hull's fishing trade expendable, and a whole industry and way of life was wiped out. I'm here at the derelict site of one of Hull's former fish docks with Alan Raw, who plays drums in dub reggae band Back to Base. Alan is hidden in shadow at the back, as drummers always are, and in most cases should be, but he's behind a particularly large stack of equipment as a result of his mixing live and computerised drums. Back to Base have released one album, Electric Eye, on an independent Hull-based label, and are one of the tragically few bands who have ever managed to get me dancing. Call that dancing?
Watch your back, watch your back, watch your back.
This is the lock gates to Andrew's fish dock, and this was the fish dock where my dad used to work.
Right.
And my granduncle was a filleter here as well.
Because fishing has been the most dangerous occupation, I think, isn't it?
There's a plaque over there and a memorial which is like to the lost trawlermen.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah, the worst thing about people being lost at sea, especially for the trawlermen's families, is there's no bodies to grieve over.
That's right.
Everyone goes on about fishing industry and all, but like we've gone way beyond recovery from the loss of it.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
Like, it's boomtown now. You know, it's like.
So what's happening now to make it a boom town then?
Well, there's a lot of industry, a lot of people investing in it.
Why particularly? Because you think it was like, because it is one of those end of the line places, you know.
Depends on which way you're coming from, doesn't it?
It does depend on that.
Because just up there,
as the Germans knew during the war. Yes, yeah.
That's right. Because it's gateway to Europe, isn't it? We were just been on tour in Belgium.
Yeah.
And it's actually cheaper for me to go to Belgium on the boat than it is to go to London on the train.
Is it?
Yeah.
MI5, the CIA, and the FBI. Got the people living in fear of the electric eye.
My family are musicians, and my mum's a singer, an Irish singer, sings traditional Irish songs, and so I got stuck on the drums because what we got missing, we need a drummer. Right. 5 years old, here's a snare drum, son.
Right.
So yeah, I was looking.
So what was your first gig then? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. I played a couple of barn dances. To try and get me hand in, because that's a good way to start. And then I did.
So this was when you were 5?
No, this was when I was about 7.
When you were a mature man.
That's right. Yeah.
In addition to his lifelong career in drumming, Alan is also employed as a youth worker by Hull City Council. His work involves coming to areas such as this, looking for young people who may need help.
When I was like streetwear patch, it was there would be people, but you see, it's all boarded up here.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't when I was.
So people were living in them.
Yeah. Actually, it was a good place to come and contact people.
It's heartening that these reminders of Hull's decimated fishing industry should have been put to good use, however briefly, by homeless people. On the other side of town, another form of unofficial urban regeneration is happening, as I'm about to be shown by Hull's graffiti artists in residence, Smell, Pinky and Spam.
I mean, we just ride up here, you know, through all the factories and all the...
And in just like a completely abandoned area, turning it into something.
Yeah.
I've rather enjoyed graffiti ever since I first saw examples 15 or 20 years ago.
This lad down Bristol way used to send me photographs of stuff that he'd done, and you know, I live in a cottage out in the country, but I really wanted him to come and paint, you know, do some. But then I thought, would that be kind of compromising him? You know, if I said I'll pay you like 50 quid or whatever to paint this wall, you know, would that be kind of destroying the purity of what he did?
We do, I mean, like, get our painting, like, you know.
Well, people pay you to come and do the walls.
Yeah, because like you use like 50 cans maybe to do a painting each, like that size.
Their commissions include decorating a city centre car park and running painting sessions for children at an adventure playground in North Hull.
Are you inspired by other people? I mean, other people other painters who've done stuff that you think, I really like that, and you try and copy
You're inspired by all kinds of things, though. It's more like music than it is, in a way, to do with art. You know, it's like there's no rules at all. You know?
And I suppose the fact that it's only temporary and transitory is that it just doesn't bother you too much.
Because it gets destroyed, it's a good thing, really. It means a new one gets done over the top on the same wall.
Show us some of your work for a start. Which things did you do?
This is one of mine and Rob's here. This is like the Hale Bop.
Oh, right, where I live out in the country. You could see Hale Bop, but I really missed it when it had gone.
Yeah.
You know, I used to go and stand out and think, oh, come back.
like a gallery, you know.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah.
Open air gallery, free for anyone to come and look at, free for anyone to do whatever they want here, really.